Hello, everybody! It is Wednesday! How we doing tonight? How is everybody doing on this hump day? We are doing good, folks. How we doing? Tell me about your Wednesday. Hey, Adele and Dazzle, how are you? It is pre-Snowmageddon here. You'd think the end of the world is coming with the snow forecasts, but we'll see. I'm not thinking that's going to do us in. And they say it's going to be so light and fluffy. Just lots of it. Hey, Cam, how are you? Good to have you here tonight. Good to have everybody here tonight. Great to have you all here on this Wednesday night, Hump Day, and the 7th night of Hanukkah. The 7th night, we've got it going. We started the candles early, so it's not showing up well. I think you can see them above the fireplace there. They're going. No snow yet. Supposed to start later tonight, Adele. They said, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock. Really supposed to the get going around midnight. We made the tentative decision to close with it tomorrow, just to prepare staff, so I wasn't getting 5 a.m. calls from staff because of the weird year that it is. Hey, Julie Jankowitz is joining the program tonight. Hey, Julie. Which is unusual for us, but it's you're dealing with declining. Whoa! Congratulations, Kim! Woo! Yeah, keep on trucking on. 4 months of rent from a City of Houston grant. Boom! That's great. You had a half-inch and another half-inch tonight? Yeah, they're talking anywhere from 12 to 24 inches that we're supposed to get. And they say light and fluffy because it's so cold, but it is the way store traffic is, people are coming out less anyway, so I sort of think that in a storm, while normally in a storm in a normal year, we have less foot traffic, but the people that come out and spend more. But that's sort of what we're having during a pandemic all the time. So I think it'll be further reduced in a pandemic. So I think that our traffic would be further reduced. So let's save everybody's headaches of getting in and payroll. But I did tell everybody, because New England is famous for its nor'easters and how storms come up and mix on the coast, but it's also the line in where it moves. If the storm blows one way, you can go from getting a foot and a half of snow, 2 feet of snow, to getting nothing, to getting a dusting. So we told staff that, tentatively, if so that we could put signs in the door tonight, we put up signs that we were going to be closed, but we haven't posted it or on Facebook or anything. And we told staff that if tomorrow they wake up and it's not much of anything, we will be open if the storm goes the other way, because so often they hype these New England storms, but it truly is, the way the science of weather comes up, and storms come up the coast and hit New England and converge. It's really typically 2 storms, one up the coast, and this is from the middle of the country. It's really, if it blows one way, we get a lot, and if it blows the other way, we get nothing. Hey, Vina's here. Great to have you here. I'm hoping for a dusting, Kitty. I would be thrilled if we only got a dusting, but I went out and got gas for the generator just in case. Hey, Lisa, I'm with you. I don't like the cold rain and ice either. Yeah, I hope I keep power, but I got gasoline. I got extra gasoline for the generator, and we're moving the generator into position. It's got its new cover. I got a fancy little cover for it and everything, and we'll see. Oh, Rose, but your wrist is sore with joy. The joy of writing all those cards. That should be bringing you joy and a smile to your face. Not only that you're writing a note to your top customers, okay, and suppliers, but you're spreading joy. They will get joy when they open those cards. Hey, Ellen, great to have you here. Oh, you closed early because of the snow, Ellen? Yeah, we're tentatively closing tomorrow, and I hate to do it, but it's a different year. We're already at reduced traffic. You know, we kind of get the traffic we would see during a snowstorm now, but that spends more, and I just don't see that coming in, that being worthwhile for tomorrow. I'm glad that brings you joy, Rose. I'm glad. But if you missed it in the comments earlier, Kim got a grant from the city of Houston, the equivalent of about 4 months' rent. She applied all the way back in April and just got it. And that is so exciting. And so that goes to the rule. Julie has said it many a time. And, just keep on applying for any grant opportunity you can. It's so important as we work our way through this. It is a cray-cray 2020, Ellen. Cray-cray. Just keep on keeping on with those because you never know when you're going to get one. You never know when your opportunity is going to be there to get a grant, and that is why you keep on keeping on. Even when you think you can't get it, that you won't qualify, you just keep on doing it. This is you keep on keeping on. It is so important that you keep on keeping on. So keep on applying. Keep on applying. That's the happy dance. Yesterday our health insurance, I'll share a little story. Our health insurance has this kick-in that if your employee, you have to all do this. They have what they call this Healthy Actions Program. And you have to go to your doctor a couple of times, and he has to sign off on the form and set goals for you. And then you have to achieve the goals, and the doctor has to sign off that you achieved the goals. And each member, the policyholder, so like I have a family plan, so just me has to attain it for our household, but each employee on the policy has to attain it, and you have to get like 70% of the people that are on your plan to follow through on the healthy actions, and then you get a policy credit, an annual policy rebate of premiums paid. That's like a month's worth of premiums, or so. And it's always been like a marketing gimmick, okay? It's been like one of those things that is just out of reach. You can see it, but you can't touch it. And I actually had to call Blue Cross this week. Hey, Jennifer, great to have you here. I called Blue Cross this week because our bill didn't seem right. It was low. It was really, really low. And I'm like, oh, shoot, they canceled us for some crazy reason. We used too much coverage, and they canceled us, and they're only billing us through the cancellation date. But this is the year we actually got the healthy credit. So I was like, so excited that we got this healthy credit, and then they gave us a COVID credit too because people have been using their policies less. So I have to. I was very excited to pay my Blue Cross bill. Uh, and so that was an exciting moment. So there are good things that are happening. Yes, there are. Yes, it's been a tough year. Yes, there are challenges ahead, but there are good things that are happening too. And that's why we're on the holiday spirit set. So let's get this program started tonight. Let's kick this off. We got the Good Morning, Good Night book right here. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Reading from the Good Morning, Good Night book. Tonight we are on page 30. Page 30. Good morning. Face the day. If the day looms too large, kick it in the shin so it has to face you. That is our good morning. And that's sort of the way my day went, actually. I had everything all organized, ready to go. And I left my briefcase by the coffee maker this morning. So all the things I was going to work on today when I was on site, all my notes, all my lists, all my stuff, it's still right here by the coffee maker when I came home. Rebecca was like, wow, I was really surprised to see that your briefcase was here all day. And so was I. I got to work. I kept on looking in the car. I went. I'm like, is it in there? Is it under this? I had other stuff in the car. I made a couple trips to the car this morning loading things up. And very, very, very unusual for me to forget that. Because I'm pretty organized with that. And I had it all laid out. But that's okay. It will give me more to work on tomorrow. It gives me... Give me things to work on tomorrow. But it did start my day off with a surprise when I got to work because we got out early today and said we're gonna get out early, get home early in case the snow started earlier. Originally, the snow was going to start earlier, so that we were home. And none of that was with me. Like, oh well. Tomorrow is another day. See, that's the thing. The calendar is perpetual. It keeps on moving forward. Okay, and so that was the way of the universe telling me it's okay that this stuff isn't getting done today. It's right by the coffee maker to start tomorrow when the coffee brews. Yeah, well, see, that's the nice thing about not living close to the stores. It's intentional when I go to... It is intentional and planned. I mean, I remember, we grew up, just blocks away from the pharmacy. And my father's pharmacy, and it was real easy to be there all the time for anything. And so... it is nice that it has to be intentional, okay? It is a nice feature. So I can't run just home, and I can't get called in just around the corner and be there in a minute to cover something. So let's cover a little bit. There's a lot going on in the world, so I need to cover some things that are happening in the world and bring you guys up to date. November retail sales have dipped as different restrictions and things happened. Year-over-year gain, November was down 0.3% seasonally adjusted from October, but up 8.8% unadjusted year-over-year. Okay, so down, and October's were revised down a little bit. This is, it's good, but it's bad, So it is showing a slowing economy because the economy is the virus. Let's just be real about that. And we know that. So, this actually helps bolster the talks for stimulus, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute. But it actually helps that discussion some. We'll cover that in a minute. That's out of order. This is kind of cool. Amazon fits shoppers to a T. I actually may want to try this. Amazon is fitting shoppers to a T with virtual customization. Amazon unveiled a new service that crosses the digital/real-world divide with virtual body doubles. Could you imagine a virtual other Neil? A virtual Neil. That is just what my peanut gallery has been asking for. They have enough problems with one Neil. Allowing customers to customize a t-shirt to their exact measurements. Amazon's new Made For You provides a made-to-measure custom t-shirt that is made to order for the individual customers. Shoppers can customize a t-shirt based on the fabric, color, length, fit, neckline, and sleeve length. They can also create a personalized label for $25. The shirt is $25. To create the shirt, this is what's neat. To create the shirt, customers via the Amazon mobile app provide Amazon with their height, weight, and 2 photos, all of which the company uses to create a virtual body double. They say the photos are automatically deleted after the virtual body double is created. Of course, because nothing lives on the internet forever. As they personalize their item, customers can see a preview of how it will look on their virtual body double. The preview changes in real time so customers can see how different options would affect the look. Customers can also zoom in and out and drag to spin their virtual body double around for a 360-degree view. You can get 300 degrees of Neil. I can have my own virtual double. This will be interesting. Customers need an iPhone running iOS 13.5 or later, or an Android phone running OS 7 or later with the Amazon mobile app installed. After their measurements have been captured, you can customize and purchase using their mobile or desktop browser. T-shirts take 5 days to manufacture. And free returns and refunds are available for any reason. I am certainly curious, so we may have to play with that. We may have to give that customization a spin, but it's something that we covered earlier in the pandemic, where stores are using mirrors to do virtual try-ons. Okay, when all the fitting rooms were closed everywhere, stores were experimenting and testing with mirrors to give virtual fit and try-on. So this is another step forward with that, where you can actually order customized product. So I am curious about this, and I may have to delve into it so I can report back to you guys on what is happening with that. The United States, remains the biggest retail market and widens their lead against the next biggest, China, despite COVID-19. Thanks to the resilience of the American consumer. Retail sales in the U.S. will increase on the year 0.8% this year, reaching $5.506 trillion, up 11% from an April forecast of a 10% decline. This represents $41 billion increase over 2019 spending. And quite honestly, I think that's got to include COVID supplies or something, because it's just, that's incredible. There is good in that number. Even though a lot of that went online, a lot of that went to the big guys and made the big guys bigger, there is a lot of good in that number. As in April, people thought China would actually end out number one in retail sales because of the pandemic hitting the U.S. so drastically. China's retail market is actually forecast to fall 2.9%. And they are at 5.130 trillion in 2020, down from 5.283 trillion in 2019. And they're saying that the U.S. has done an unbelievable about-face. I mean, a lot of it is government stimulus keeping the markets going. It doesn't make sense, Ellen, but the side of it that does is the amount of stimulus that was pumped into the economy early on. If you look at the amount of stimulus and extra spending power people had early on, they were also able to defer mortgage payments and other things, so some people didn't actually understand what they were doing and spent that extra money. And then to businesses, you look at the cost of supplies and such that we've spent that would fall into some general retail sales, and it does make some sense, okay? But certainly not what I would predict it, and certainly not what you're seeing in your stores of that kind of increase. But there are good things coming along. So, I mean, the fact that spending is remaining resilient through all this is actually good news for us moving forward. It's still not a predictable trend at this point, and not something that I would bank on. Again, I'm not, it's really hard to forecast out sales, and we're going to get into budgeting, but it's really hard to do that right now. The way the roller coaster is up and down and all over the place of sales, but it is happening out there. So just keep in mind that of that report, the big guys are getting bigger with that. But there's still going to be plenty of room for us. Talking about shipping for a moment, Walmart is setting earlier cutoffs for holiday orders, setting the 21st as their day, 21st at 2 p.m. to have it in. And that's pretty ambitious, especially using all the carriers. They don't have their network of delivery agents like Amazon does. And so that is pretty ambitious for Walmart, to have that date where there's all the other carriers and all the issues they're having. One of the issues that's going on is, and especially with the U.S. Postal Service, if you use the U.S. Postal Service, is the lack of scanning, okay, where your shipments are not seeing tracking updates sometimes, many times, until the item is delivered. And this is the result of the post office opening up other facilities that normally don't receive packages to sort. They have sorting facilities that are just there for mail, for regular letters and such, are now sorting packages, and they don't have the things in place to scan it. They're totally overwhelmed, and some customers just don't understand it. They just don't understand it. We have a couple that are irate, and it's still a fraction. It's like your irate customers in store. It gets to you. I mean, it really gets to you. But it's a fraction of what you see in store of all the packages you're shipping. It's a small percentage of those that get upset and don't understand what's going on this holiday season. It is a small percentage, and most people get it. Most people get what is going on, the volume, and you tell them that you shipped it, they understand it. There are some people that are just upset about it, but packages are getting there. I truly believe, and I've seen it. I mean, shoot, just the other day we had a package delivered here at 7 a.m. The post office was here. They were here multiple times that day, actually, with packages. But that their commitment to making sure their sorting facilities are empty on Christmas Day and that the packages are where they're supposed to be, I really believe they take that commitment seriously. Will their sorting facilities and trucks be completely empty? We know they won't be, okay? But they are working so hard, these people. I see our carrier that picks up our packages that we ship, and she's working really hard. She's a longtime postal employee, so we're really blessed by that. And the carriers that we have and the job that we do. I mean, it's still pretty amazing that you can put a letter in the mail and a couple days later, I mean, Rose was writing cards to her consigners and suppliers. I mean, her suppliers and shoppers. And, you can drop that letter in the mail and in a few days or even a week, with delays right now, or 10 days, whatever. It can be in California or Kalamazoo or wherever. I mean, that's still, even in today's day and age, that's pretty amazing. All you did was hand write something on the outside and it ends out across the country. That's still pretty amazing. So I like that. I like that. In continued good news for the economy, and we were just talking about retail sales, well, part of what's pumping that up is China has set multiple export records this year. China's exports surged 21% last month compared to November 2019, continuing a strong year. Is as stay-at-home trends fueled demand for toys, gym equipment, and other made-in-China goods. Exports from China to the U.S. hit a record almost $52 billion in November, up 46.1% from the same month last year. So there's a lot of good that, while we all don't want more poorly made cheap junk, the fact that there is demand for that kind of demand for goods is a good thing in our economy. That orders are coming in for that level of goods is actually a very good thing for our stores moving forward. Okay, it is good for everybody. Okay, when the economy is good, it raises all boats. Okay, when people are feeling good about spending, it raises all boats. So, I mean, this is good news for all of us. You're right, Kitty. Being able to send that for 55 cents, I'm glad you told me how much a stamp is right now. I always like pretty stamps. I like, and actually I call them fun stamps. I want something fun, not boring. Rebecca many years ago got on my case about getting flag stamps, which is the default that they give you for forever stamps. And she calls them boring. She doesn't want to be unpatriotic. Don't get her wrong there. She's patriotic. But she called me boring for buying that. So now I have to always buy fun stamps. And I have what do I have for stamps right now? Grab my portfolio, Rebecca. Let's see what I have for fun stamps right now. I think I have 3 different designs in my portfolio right now. Do 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 do. Yes, don't throw money on the floor. People in my peanut gallery will think it's for them.
Oh, it's for me? I'll go grab it.
Let's see. Right now I have 4 different designs. I have winter scenes. Right now, I have Christmas. I have flower. And I have the Lunar New Year. So, my fun stamps. My fun stamps is what I got going. And Kitty always uses the commemorative. It's fun, you know, it keeps it interesting. I mail all the stuff, so I mail lots of stuff. Huh? It is snowing now. Okay, and Ellen uses pretty stamps. Not fun stamps. When you're in the chic world, you use pretty stamps. Mike loves sending mail in pretty stamps, Ellen. That's what I'm saying. When Mike needs a stamp, he says, "Hey, Al, give me the pretty stamps." Okay, I'm making myself laugh here. Okay. Vaccine distribution. This is it's a difficult subject. Who should get the vaccine? Who should get there first? It's also very political. You'll have to do a video with Bear talking about how Bear likes his pretty stamps. Max was just outside. Use the stamps, Rose. Use the stamps. So who gets what? So there's actually, the CDC has an advisory committee on immunization and practices. Because the government needs a good acronym, the ACIP, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, okay, is taking input to actually give states guidance over the weekend. They're meeting over the weekend to develop and give states guidance on who should get the vaccine and what order people should get the vaccine. Our friends at the National Retail Federation and others have submitted comments that retail workers, you are a retail worker ultimately, okay, should be in the early stages, the initial stages. Should be prioritized in the early phases. There's all sorts of groups jockeying for position on this. You have all these stores that are open to the public versus offices that aren't. I don't know. This is really tough, but they are advocating, and they submitted comments to the committee on this. And so that is there. So just be aware of that Amazon also submitted direct comments that warehouse workers, retail workers should be prioritized. So there's a lot of people pushing that retail should be on the early side of it. And people that had been ultimately showing up in person to work. Okay, your restaurant workers and others that showed up in person to work should be prioritized. So that is a big to-do with that. So just keep that in mind. there's been a lot of talk about, not a lot. I'm going to save that for Self-Care Sunday. Hang on a second. I'm going to save that for Self-Care Sunday. So what's happening with our friends in government right now? There is hope, okay? There is government is the sausage process of making legislation is pretty freaking awful, okay? But there is optimism that a Christmas deal is coming together, okay? That would involve another PPP, streamlined forgiveness for PPPs under 150,000, some sort of extension of unemployment benefits, and direct payments to Americans as part of that as well. Some combination of all that. It's the sausage making process is going on. The most direct thing for you would be another PPP and streamlined forgiveness. I am staying in tune with my contacts in Washington as this continues to develop, but there's some real good faith negotiations going on. Just an example of the good faith negotiations. Originally direct payments to households. They wanted another $1,200 payments plus $500 a kid, like what was sent in the spring, and they're now looking at maybe payments of $600 or $700, but they're doing that by reducing the extra unemployment benefits. So give and take, negotiation. You want to get that, but then we have to give back on something. So it's not all everything. The additional PPP would be huge. The additional unemployment benefits, extensions of food supports, and the direct payments would be good because it would be money into the economy that would further stimulate and people would spend. So this is good news if they can get it done. They inevitably people try to throw other fillers into the sausage, and not just keep it pure. It's hard. So we'll see. I'm the most optimistic I have been on it in a long time. They need to do it. And it fixes the other thing that is in current on the agreement side is it fixes the tax deductibility of expenses used for your PPP. So under the current rules, you don't have to claim the income from the PPP as income, but you can't deduct the payroll expenses that you spent the money on as a business expense, and that would, which would inflate your income, or could inflate your income, and that is fixed in the draft that I have seen. So there's a lot of good stuff in the draft that I have seen that is being circulated on the Hill, and they've even talked about keeping Congress in session this weekend if that's what it takes to get it done. So I am cautiously optimistic that we could have a Christmas gift here from the government and get this done. And I've even heard some of the banks ramping up to be able to process PPPs as an end-of-year thing and get it in 2020. So there is some good. There are some things happening. We'll see. The caveat on another PPP under the current draft that I have available to me is that you would have to show in any quarter of 2020. So to be eligible for a second PPP, you'd have to have under 300 employees, which the group most of my audience has under 300 employees. And you would have to have had a 30% reduction in revenue during any quarter in 2020. So during any quarter in 2020, you would have to have a 30% decline in revenue. With the shutdowns and different things, many can show that. And so the process is expected to be streamlined. So from a banker's perspective, from the banker side that I've talked to today, how about now? Am I back? I think I'm back. I think I'm back. I think I'm back. Read my lips! More money! Oh, you make me laugh, Kelly. You make me laugh. Technology. And I met Read My Lips. I met him when he was vice president. I have this thing with vice presidents. Yes, it was a simple fix. Put batteries in on our fancy mic pack. All right. So I was saying I am hopeful, the most hopeful I've been in a long time that this Congress will really get it done. But until it's done, I don't believe anything. But the fact that people are looking at it on both sides, that Congress is actually making good faith negotiations, that stakeholders are involved, that bankers are talking about how they would implement it. This sounds good, but don't go depositing that money yet. But it would really help a lot of people get through the darkest days of this winter, because there are going to be some dark days this winter. There are going to be some dark days ahead of us. We all know that. But the light at the end of the tunnel is good. There is good days ahead. We're going to find that light. The vaccines are out there. People are talking about, people are taking them, and people are getting excited about them. So, but I will keep you in the loop as I know more. But that is what I have read in the draft legislation. So 30% reduction in sales during any quarter gets you a second PPP. The taxability, you can deduct the expenses you spend the PPP on and don't have to count the PPP as income, and extended unemployment benefits and some form of direct payments to households. So these are good core things and a good starting point if they get it done. They are talking about even staying in Washington the weekend if they needed to. Again, I'll keep you in the loop on everything that's happening as I know it. Because, everything I talk about here and all the resources I have, go over to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. They are all there. They are on, there's also a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when a new episode has dropped. But also you can share it with all your friends so we can help every business. Doesn't matter what business they're in. We're helping everybody get across the finish line here, okay? It is about community. We are the community association, okay? We are businesses that make the community. I mean, I was talking to one of my employees today about how serious I take our role in the community. I'm like, not everybody, but somebody's bringing us this glass, okay, so they can buy food for their family. They're bringing us this glass so they can buy dinner tonight and groceries. And that's not everybody that consigns with us, but that's some people. And we need to keep a healthy business so that we can keep our community healthy. And that is extremely important to me, and I take that responsibility extremely seriously. So we are the community, and this association helps all businesses, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, whatever your role in the community, we're going to help you get to the other side. I am here every night at more 8 than ish Eastern, live in the Narts private Facebook group. Live. If you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com is where you find me. We start this program. Hang on, you know what I didn't do tonight? I didn't tell you what the 7th night of Hanukkah meant. And I know some of you are curious. The 7th night of Hanukkah, which the menorah just used up tonight's oil, the 7th night of Hanukkah is forgiveness. Forgiveness is not just for Yom Kippur. The 7th candle sparks forgiveness, which in some cases is wildly difficult to achieve, but is always worth the effort. The first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest. The first to forget is the happiest. The first to apologize is the bravest. The first to forgive is the strongest. And the first to forget is the happiest. Ladies and gentlemen, we start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start. Tonight we are on page 31. Good morning. If you were not here at the top of the program, our good morning was, good morning, face the day. If the day looms too large, kick it in the shins so it has to face you. Our good night tonight is good night. Way to face the day. Now climb into bed with the night and draw the shades. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, a congressional forgiveness party. Oh, that's great, Kim. I'm glad you're willing to forgive Congress. And they have a lot of sins. I don't know when we'll party again in person, but I do know when we do, I will be there with you. Yes, I will. You can count on that. Absolutely, you can count on that. But I do know I'll be back here tomorrow night with you at more 8 than ish tomorrow night, live here in the Narts private Facebook group. If you have a question in between, email me. But know that until then, that you and you, but most especially you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody. It's time for dessert.